was a story that wanted to be adapted decades before it was. And the movie released for the 50th anniversary of the company. What makes Robin Hood special, especially as this is not Disney's only adaptation of Robin Hood. Hello, my name is Em, and I am currently on a journey where I am watching every single Disney animated movie in chronological release order and ranking them on a tier list with my husband. And before I get into our thoughts, I like to give history because as a self-proclaimed Disney historian, I believe it gives a lot of context. It also gives me an excuse to do research on my favorite movies growing up, so a win is a win. Anyway, let's get into it. Robin Hood premiered on November 8th, 1973 at Radio City Music Hall in New York. So it actually was interesting. It was a special movie that could be seen at Radio City Music Hall during that season. And it was based on the English folktale of the same name, obviously. It stars Brian Bedford as Robin Hood, Monica Evans as Maid Marian, who had previously played Abigail in The Aristocats, Phil Harris as Little John, who had played Baloo in The Jungle Book and Thomas O'Malley in The Aristocats, Roger Miller as Alana Dale, Andy Devine as Friar Tuck, Peter Ustinov as Prince John and King Richard, and Peter Ustinov had done, I really hope I'm pronouncing his last name right, but he had done Blackbeard's Ghost, which is a live-action Disney feature. If you have not seen Blackbeard's Ghost, it is hilarious. It's on Disney Plus. I think I rewatched it a few months ago. Maybe probably longer at this point. But it is hilarious and I love it. It's just got that old Disney charm. It kind of, if you like The Absent-Minded Professor, you'd probably love Blackbeard's Ghost. There's a comedic sports scene a la Absent-Minded Professor. Also, if you like Blackbeard's Ghost, you might like The Absent-Minded Professor. And Terry Thomas as Sir Hiss, Carol Shelley as Lady Cluck, and she had played Amelia in The Aristocats. And fun fact, Monica Evans and Carol Shelley were on Broadway together in The Odd Couple. And Carol Shelley, as I mentioned in my Aristocats video, plays the original Madame Morrible on Broadway in Wicked, which is kind of crazy. Worlds collide. Pat Buttram as the Sheriff of Nottingham, and he had voiced Napoleon in The Aristocats. Pat Buttram is also kind of a background character in Western's Legend. And he also he appears in Back to the Future 3. And I heard his voice and I was like, oh, that's that guy. But we're kind of seeing this new usher in of new Disney voices. So now we might have a few more, or maybe we'll have the last role of Sterling Holloway when we get to The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. But he's kind of phasing out. And Bill Thompson's gone too. So, we're kind of getting this, new usher in of new voices. But also we're kind of keeping the old ones as well. And, Verna Felton is passed and things like that. But George Lindsay as Trigger, and he had voiced Lafayette in The Aristocats. Barbara Luddy as the Church Mouse and Mother Rabbit, and she had voiced Lady in Merryweather. And this is also J. Pat O'Malley's last Disney role as Otto. So J. Pat O'Malley is just a very iconic Disney voice. He'd done a lot of voices. Off the top of my head, Cyril from The Wind in the Willows, Tweedledee and Tweedledum from Alice in Wonderland, I feel like there's more, but I am abso-freaking-lutely forgetting them. But he did a lot of Disney voices, and did a lot of stuff with the company. And so, like, we're kind of ushering in this new age of, like, constant, like, voices. And, like, as Walt has passed, we're now kind of getting into, you know, this is actually kind of like the first original work since Walt had passed away and all these things. So, yeah. In 1937, during the production of Snow White, Walt became interested in adapting Reynard the Fox, a 12th century legend. However, this did not come to be because Walt was concerned that it wouldn't be suitable for a film and that the anthropomorphic animals may not resonate with audiences. For Treasure Island in 1950, it was considered to have 3 animated sections a la Song of the South, from the Reynard Tales, to have Long John Silver tell to Jim Hawkins' moral stories, which I find it interesting that they would be like a la Song of the South, because Bobby Driscoll was Johnny in Song of the South and also was Jim Hawkins in Treasure Island. So I think it would be interesting. But then I think ultimately it would just, like, I think part of the uniqueness of Song of the South, like one of the unique things in Song of the South, is that it has that moral story segments thing. And I think that that's what's interesting about it. And I think giving that to another movie kind of would have felt like Disney reheating their own nachos. Like, that's been one of my favorite phrases recently. So ultimately, clearly this didn't pan out. In the 60s, it was decided that Reynard would be the villain for the film Chanticleer, based on the story of the same name, but that was canceled in favor of Sword in the Stone. I think I did have somebody mention that I should do a video on Chanticleer, but I've talked about doing a Don Bluth tier list, and apparently Rockadoodle is based on Chanticleer, so I think I can use that moment to talk about Disney and Chanticleer as well. In October of 1968, Ken Anderson, famous animating director Ken Anderson, went on a fishing trip with the studio president, Card Walker. Guys, Card is an interesting name. I don't know if it's his real name or if it's his nickname, but Card is kind of an interesting name. Like, guys, you're like, oh, people are naming their kids weird things now. No. People have always been doing, like, weird nicknames, you know? Like, Chip? Chip's been, like, a nickname for so long. And, I don't know. On this fishing trip, Card Walker suggested that the next animated film after Aristocats be based on a classic tale. And so Ken Anderson suggested Robin Hood, and Card Walker enthusiastically agreed. Back at the Disney studio after the trip, Ken Anderson relayed the idea during a story meeting for the Aristocats, and it was met with approval by, like, the others in the team. And Ken Anderson was assigned to begin the concept art for the characters, and he chose to make Robin Hood a sly fox, as, like, he's kind of sly and cunning, which kind of just makes sense. This kind of just feels like a King Louis sings swing because he swings as a monkey moment. And Ken Anderson also wanted to set the story in the Deep South, reminiscing on how fun the production of Song of the South was, specifically for the animators. However, executives at the Disney company nixed the idea as they wanted to avoid controversy, and the traditional English setting was kept. Ken Anderson was also unhappy that some of his character concepts had been boiled down to stereotypes. For the Sheriff of Nottingham, like, his concept was a goat, because, like, no really villains are like goats. But also, guys, can I be honest? Goats kind of scare me. Like, I know, I have a lot of fears with animals, and I don't know what it is. A lot of animals kind of scare me. I don't like goats because their pupils kind of freak me out. Anyway. But director Wolfgang Reitherman wanted a villainous wolf. Ken Anderson also wanted the merry men from the traditional tale in the film, but again, Wolfgang Reitherman wanted a buddy picture instead. He kind of wanted it to be a buddy picture like, hold on, let me look for that. La 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 la. Okay. He wanted it to kind of be a buddy picture, kind of like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which had kind of come out recently. So Little John was one of the only merry men retained, and Friar Tuck was kind of made as a friend of Robin Hood's, and then Alan Adale became the narrator. But he's also kind of a friend as well. Due to the time spent developing the script and auditioning actors, the film fell behind schedule. To meet the deadline, the animators had to recycle animation from Snow White, The Jungle Book, and The Aristocats for the phony King of England scene. And I think the funniest thing about the phony King of England scene is, like, I'll watch videos where people will, like, put them side by side, but there are some things where I'm like, oh yeah, no, I know exactly that's from Aristocats because I just watched Aristocats. and they don't say it's anything. I recently watched a video that I'm like 70% sure was AI because it kind of had an AI sounding voice and like some of the clips did not match up. And guys, I had a concept for a video made entirely by AI to see, kind of make a meta commentary on AI and see if I'm any better than AI, because my editing software does have an option to have AI stitch clips together. So I'm wondering if that's what they did, if they input clips for the AI to stitch together. But it was so crazy. It was like basically being like all this whole conspiracy clickbaity thing about why did the biggest company in the world and the biggest animation studio in the world reuse animation. I'm like, I don't know, to save time and money, because yes, you have money, but like at this time they did have money, but not as much as they do now. Like they definitely have a lot more money now. Yeah, I don't know, like they did it to save time and money. I'm sorry, like, animators have families and lives, and they want to go home to their families and everything, and I don't know. Like, genuinely, gosh, I'm sorry. They have families they want to go home to at 5 p.m., you know? And then gotta reuse things. Like, clearly sometimes things get over budget, and things get, you know, time gets to, and I know that this one definitely had a deadline because they were like, this is the one that we want to release for that year, for our 50th like celebration year. So this one, like other ones, like, yeah, you can delay, whatever. This one had a deadline. So, and in the phony King of England scene, the same robe and crown worn by the puppet version of Prince John is used on the King in Bedknobs and Broomsticks. The sound clip of the church bells is reused from Cinderella, as well as Robin Hood and Maid Marian in the carriage. I also am pretty sure, nobody has said this, but I'm pretty sure that the characters throwing rice from like the steeple is also reused from Cinderella. Because I'm like, guys, I used to watch Cinderella all the time. Best believe I remember that scene because I did not understand what they were throwing. I don't know. I was a child. I had not been to many weddings. Sir Hiss hypnotizing Prince John is reused from Kaa in the Jungle Book. And Robin Hood also reuses the same animation shots multiple times. So specifically, one of them that I heard about that Ken Anderson was actually a little bit upset about was the Sheriff of Nottingham's walk. I know that the kids laughing, like there's shots of the kids, like the little rabbits and you know the group of kids. That was reused. My husband actually pointed that out. And the film originally had an alternate ending where instead of the arrow missing Robin Hood in the standoff at the castle, he would be wounded and taken to the church to recover. Prince John and Sir Hist would see Little John leaving the church and assume that he is there. So they would trail him, looking all over for Robin Hood, would see Little John leaving the church and assume he is there. Which is crazy because I'm like, guys, what if Little John just wanted to pray, And going inside, they find Maid Marian tending to Robin, and then and then Prince John draws a dagger to kill him. It is at this moment that King Richard comes back and is appalled at the state his kingdom is in. He doesn't banish Prince John, but also doesn't pardon him from punishment. He also orders Friar Tuck to marry Robin and Marian. By October of 1970, most of the voice actors had been cast at this point. Tommy Steele as Robin Hood for his role in The Happiest Millionaire, and Peter Ustinov for his role in Blackbeard's Ghost. However, Tommy Steele was unable to make Robin Hood sound heroic, so Brian Bedford was cast. Apparently, Louis Prima was angry he was not considered, so he paid all the expenses for his next album to be based on Robin Hood, which he sold to Disneyland Records. I don't know. Can I just say this? I don't know if Louis Prima lobbied to play Robin Hood. I don't know if Disney ever contacted him to play Robin Hood. But I find this very interesting that he's like, I'm angry that I was never considered. I'm going to pay all of the expenses for my next album to be based on Robin Hood, and then I'm going to sell it to the same studio that sniped me. Just such a weird thing. I feel like there's more to that I would love to know, but I couldn't find. During 1973, it marked the 50-year anniversary of the Disney Company, which I've talked about before, which meant that Robin Hood was heavily promoted. Even though it did not wide release until December, in January, a 10-minute excerpt aired during a 50-year anniversary episode of The Wonderful World of Disney. Animators were also touring from city to city to promote the film. Which might have been, I don't know if they started it before it was released, but it probably would have been completed at that point. But this thing had a deadline, and it was fierce. In its initial release, it made $199.4 million worldwide when adjusted for inflation. Critics praised the film at the time for the tongue-in-cheek nature, a comeback for Disney, and the vocal performances. Others critiqued it, calling it bland and one-dimensional. Love, the song Love, was nominated for Best Song at the Academy Awards. I honestly would be remiss if I didn't mention it. It's in Fantastic Mr. Fox. And some of the characters from Robin Hood are found in Mickey's Christmas Carol. Many of the characters also appear in House of Mouse. Robin Hood, Little John, Friar Tuck, Trigger, Prince John, and the Sheriff of Nottingham have all appeared as walk-around characters in the Disney parks. However, I don't think they meet much in the U.S. parks anymore, and I'm not sure if Maid Marian or Lady Cluck have ever been walk-around characters. Let me actually Google that real quick. I lied. Maid Marian has been a walk-around character. And I bet you Yeah. Yep. But disappeared during the 1990s. Let's see, Friar Tuck. So, Friar Tuck, it doesn't say if he has disappeared, but I don't think I've seen him in a while. I think he's pretty rare. Prince John, I feel like I've seen pictures of him. Lost Friends Week. Prince John appeared for meet and greets along with Robin Hood, Friar Tuck, and the Sheriff of Nottingham for Long Lost Friends Week in Walt Disney World. I don't know when that was. He also appeared during the Unleash the Villains events in 2013 and 2014. So it's been a while, I think, since he was in the U.S. parks. Tokyo Disney, he sometimes appears for meet and greets with the other Robin Hood characters. Let's look at Robin Hood next. Yes. Long Lost Friends Week. He does occasional meet and greets in Hollywood studios. Okay, let's do Sheriff of Nottingham. Oh. There's nothing. Okay. There's nothing on the wiki about that. Okay. Anyway, so I guess Maid Marian exists. Let's see if there's a lady clock. I'm guessing that there's not a lady clock, but that makes me sad. Yeah, it doesn't look like, I don't see anything. I see Clara clock. I do not see Lady Cluck, however, and that makes me sad. Disney. Disney. I'm going to beg you for a little bit. Please make a Lady Cluck walk around character. Sorry, I'm going to say that better. Please make a Lady Cluck walk around character for the Disney parks. I know Robin Hood doesn't get much love. Hold on. I swear I saw one that said it was Prince John. I swear there's a Little John walk around character. Because I swear they use it in like Modern Family or something. Am I crazy? No, I'm not crazy. Ha ha ha. Okay, can I... Is there like a wiki? Hold on. Little John. Because I swear they use it in like... Oh, there's just no page for him. Okay, so Little John, which is crazy, but I'm sure they did this so that nobody like got in the shot, and because nobody would want to meet Little John. But Little John is in like the Modern Family episode at Disneyland, which is weird. Anyway, the church bell found in Friar Tuck's church is an actual bell that was filmed and added in post-production. Crazy, huh? Peter Ustinov also voices King John in the German version, but he doesn't voice King Richard in that version. This is the first Disney film to end with, quote, "The End, Walt Disney Productions." This would be the norm until the Fox and the Hound. This was the final Disney film to have the score done by George Bruns. So everybody say, bye, George Bruns. Just like we said bye to Oliver Wallace all those years ago. Let's say bye, George Bruns. We love your work. The whistle stop was sped up and used in the hamster dance. In April of 2020, it was reported that a live-action / CGI hybrid remake was in the works. It was set to be released on Disney+, but as of now, I don't think that will be happening because it has been almost 6 years. So, I also know that some live actions are a little right now. So anyway, that's all I have. That is all I have for my facts. So if you stick around, you'll hear my husband and I's thoughts on Robin Hood. So we just finished Robin Hood, and I really like Robin Hood. I think it's a good movie. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I don't know. To me personally, it's not my favorite Disney movie because I prefer the fairy tales. We all know this. I prefer the fairy tales.
Robin Hood's a fairy tale.
It's got a maid in it, but, like, it's not like a fairy tale, and, like it's like an adventure story. It's a boy fairy tale. It's a boy fairy tale.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay there.
Like
Aladdin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, I think that Aladdin has the appeal of Jasmine. Like, I love Maid Marian. Guys, I said during it, like, Lady Cluck is that girl. She's a baddie. I love Lady Cluck. Like,
fellow plus-size queens.
I'm not a plus-size queen.
No, I was just making a joke about because Madame Cluck is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's Maid Cluck. Sorry, not Madame. Right?
No, it is
Madame?
Lady Cluck.
Lady, that's right. Yeah.
Lady Cluck.
You'd think after just watching the movie that I paid attention.
They said her name, like, twice, so, like, it's
Well,
okay.
they put it on the subtitles and stuff that you watch because your ADHD mind cannot comprehend not having subtitles.
It's better also for when you're talking my ear off, I can still pay attention to the movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but, like, I really like Robin Hood. I will say I really like Robin Hood. I think it's really pretty. I think the plot is great. It has all of these moments that just, like, I can't think of a moment where I'm like, meh. You know, like, I think it's good. I like it. I like it a lot.
If I actually did have one specific thing I liked about it. Now I know a few scenes, and I'm sure you're going to talk about this in your video proper. But some scenes were like borrowed from other movies and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, like reused, traced over, or whatever.
I don't exactly know what the reusing process is like, and I've talked about it being like stuff being reused before, but I haven't really figured out how they do that.
My guess is they probably like trace over a reference or something like, or use the
My
same
guess
reference.
is they print it out with the Xerox printer and they trace over it. That would be my best guess, but I'm not sure.
But, you know, they did use, like, reference materials for a lot of the movies. Like, had people actually dancing or whatever so that they could have something to, like, eyeball. They might have honestly just used the same reference material on purpose or something. You know?
I don't know.
Like, for the case of Snow White and this stuff. But what I was going to say is even despite that, a lot of the scenes that aren't traced or whatever, copied, I think have really, really good, I just had it in my head. How do you describe, like, the art of movement? It's not cinematography. It starts with a C, but it's not cinematography. It's like how you would describe dancing.
Cinematic?
No. It's an ography. I can't remember.
Choreography?
Thank you.
I'm going to have to cut all of that out. This is going to be awful.
I'll repeat what I said. Excluding those scenes that were, you know, repeated or retraced or whatever.
Or reused,
it has really, really good choreography.
Yeah.
Like the fight scene at the
end.
archery. Well, yes, at the end. But the one I was thinking of was the archery. One right after the archery tournament.
Yeah.
Where they're all running around and stuff. Has like really, really good choreography. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just had a minute where I couldn't remember it, and then I forgot it from my head. Yes, had really, really good choreography.
Uh-huh.
That was one thing that I noticed.
Yeah, I think that my one problem, and this is just me, wanting more from it. I wish that we learned a lot more about Maid Marian and Robin's relationship. Guys, give me a movie where I get their origin story for their love story, please. I'm begging you.
It says they had known each other since they were kids. And
but I want that. But I want... Give me a comic series. Give me something, please. And if somebody in the comments tells me that there's a comic series or something or a book, best believe I will buy it in 2 seconds. I want to know more about Robin and Maid Marian as people.
Or you know what they're going to say? They're going to say just read the book of Robin Hood. Like the actual story.
Losers, I want Disney's Robin Hood. Guys, I do need to read the book for Robin Hood. I also know that there's one with, oh my gosh, what's his name? The guy who plays Wesley in The Princess Bride, yes. And he's really hot.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Men in Tights? Well,
it's more of a comedy. It's not meant to be...
I don't care. He's hot.
Because I don't remember, because I've seen it, but I don't remember much of it. And one scene I do remember is one guy, I can't remember the context or who it was, but one dude basically gets his house repoed by medieval H&R Block. Yes. So, it's a comedy. It's not meant to be taken seriously, but it's pretty good from what I remember.
Is that the one we watched with your mom? No, that was The Court Jester.
Yeah, it was The Court Jester. Yeah. Also very similar plot when you think about it.
Well, they have the whole Robin Hood moment in it.
Yeah, like he's basically Robin Hood, but what does he call himself? Like the Black Fox? Is that what he calls himself?
I can't remember.
He calls himself something.
Guys, we have horrible memories. It's awful. It's awful. Yeah, but something I don't know. I think I love this kind of also has the Jungle Bookness where it's a musical, but it's also not a musical. Like the songs are so well integrated into the film to set the setting, to give the scene, and especially with like the bard. Is he like a bard?
The chicken, Alan, what was it? Alan O'Daly?
Alan O'Doodle or something like that?
Yeah, something.
Aladoodle or something.
Yeah, it is the Black Fox. That's what it is called in the Court.
Can you look up the name of the rooster now? Because I feel like I need to know.
Alan Adale.
Alan Adale. Okay. Yeah, I like Alan Adale. And his I just like the idea of having a bard there. Like the scene where they all get arrested is so much more emotional because of his song. You know what it kind of gives? It gives the song where Buzz is trying to fly in Toy Story, but he can't, and it's sadder because there's a song there. That's what it's kind of giving. Fly if I wanted to. This is a side tangent, but when my nephew was little, he loved Toy Story, and so he'd play that, he'd do the song and he'd do the motion. He'd reenact the song, and it was so cute. Oh my gosh, he was such a cute toddler. He's still a cute kid, but he was such a cute toddler. Yeah, but I do love Robin Hood, and honestly, it's one that I could watch, and I could watch over and over and over again. It's been a while for me watching it, and honestly, I don't think I've had a bad time watching Robin Hood. Like it's good.
It's a good movie. I like it. I think it's a solid one.
Do we put it in A tier or S tier?
I put it in like A, mid A, or upper A. I think it's really good, and like I said, it has a lot of really good elements. I don't know if it pushes that bar to S. You know, I don't know if it makes next to Sleeping Beauty.
Guys, is Sleeping Beauty our pinnacle? Is Sleeping Beauty our pinnacle?
Well, I was just putting it as the shelf style. I don't know if I put it on the same shelf as Sleeping Beauty, but I do understand putting it on a higher part of A tier. That's just my opinion.
For me personally, I love it. this is the problem with good movies, because I'm like, Cinderella has its faults too, but this is a perfect movie. But I prefer Cinderella, and I prefer
Robin Hood.
Yeah,
I think I'd put Robin Hood over Cinderella.
Don't make me do that.
I'm not gonna make you. It's your list. That's just my opinion.
I mean, you are right. You know, like I have to.
I'm always right. My tier list can beat up your tier list. When we're finished, I should make my own tier list, and you should have the audience vote on whose is better.
That would be 3 Caballeros S tier. Yep. Saludos amigos S tier.
Yep. Any ones with Donald, they skip the line.
It's like me with Sleeping Beauty. I don't care if there's any flaws in Sleeping Beauty. S tier. Wait, does that mean... So I've been consulting you on your opinions for no reason?
I've told you this is your list. You've told me this is your list, and you're going to ignore my opinion.
I at least take it into account, because this is us reacting to it. Mm-hmm. In my intro, I say ranking on a tier list with my husband. Mm-hmm. Watching them with my husband and ranking them on a tier list. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, I think that Robin Hood just is really great. As, like, one of the first films that, like, Walt did not have much of a part in, I think it's really great. I think that the Xerox style is cleaned up a little bit more in this one. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't feel as Xeroxy as the others.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I also think, I don't know if this is a thing of Xerox or what, but it's also interesting just how some of the texturing and detail they can get away with. I pointed out, like, hiss, and I guess this isn't really specific. Xerox can do this, because you can do this without Xerox, but I guess it feels like the effect looks better because of it. Hiss looks fluffy in a lot of shots. I know that's weird to say because he's a snake, but, like, if you look closely at his skin, it, like, fluffs like Robin Hood's fur or one of the other characters' fur. Mm-hmm. Like, it makes me feel like that if I held Hiss in my hands, it would be like a soft plush snake rather than like a slimy, gross, slithery snake, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, what's the snake in Jungle Book?
Kaa.
Yeah, like, I feel like Kaa, they did the opposite in the styling with the Xerox. He feels very much the opposite. I don't feel like I could hold him. I would feel grossed out. It'd be cold and wet and moist.
I don't like snakes.
But I feel like Hiss is the opposite. He looks like a giant sock. He looks like a giant sock.
He looks like a giant
But that's
sock.
a good thing. I think that fits with the art style because, like, it's a lot more lighthearted compared to, like, well, I guess Jungle Book is pretty lighthearted too. But, you know, compared to some of their other shorts they have, it's a lot more lighthearted and more fun and fairy tale-ish. Mm-hmm. And so it makes sense that they want to keep an art style that kind of fits with that. Mm-hmm. Hence why even, like, the more rough and toughy things are fluffy. Or, yeah.
Okay, other things. Prince John is stupid. The Sheriff of Nottingham is stupid. The vultures are stupid.
What makes them stupid?
Like, as characters. Not like they are stupid, period. But, like, as characters, there's not much going on up there.
Oh. Yeah. Like, they themselves are stupid.
They themselves are stupid.
Yes.
Sorry, I hope you didn't click off the video.
They were like... Sheriff of Nottingham, my favorite character. She just dunked on them, disliked, unsubscribed, reported. Bad comment left. With slurs.
With slurs, they're gonna call me slurs over not staying and listening and hearing me out. People are gonna call me slurs on the internet.
They're gonna call you like some slang for like a jailbird because you're a raccoon. Or they're gonna call you a bandit. Yep, those are raccoon slurs.
Trash panda.
Yep.
Anyway. Like, they are so clueless the entire time. And it's so fun. I feel like that adds so much to the comedy of it. And so much to... Because, like, the whole thing where he just, like, he has, like, a hood on and he puts a sock on his face should not have worked.
Yeah.
I guess the Sheriff of Nottingham might have been tired.
And it could have been dark. because it was probably just darker than it actually was. Because I was also thinking about that when Little John replaces the sheriff. Like, they don't look very much alike other than the slight body shape. And so, like, I feel like if it was really, really dark, I may not have noticed till I got really close to someone. So I think that kind of implied that, like, the jailbreak scene was probably pretty late at night.
Well, duh, it was like wee hours in the morning. They literally say that.
Yeah, like the bell ticks first at 1 o'clock. So yeah.
Prince John has mommy issues.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say is Prince John has mommy issues. The other thing is, I think it's the funniest thing because he's not a very good villain. He's not a very good villain.
Like, do you mean successful or?
Just in general. Like, there are better villains out there for Disney movies.
I mean, yeah, but I also think, like, I don't know, like, as much as he's played to be the fool, he kind of actually does it. Now, granted, he himself doesn't do it, but he's really good at, like, getting his subjects to do it properly. Because he's able to jail almost the entire town without Robin Hood stepping in till an execution starts, you know?
I don't know.
So, like, he may not be, like, uber scary of a villain. You know, he's no Maleficent. You know, he's no, why did my brain, like, drop out? He's no Queen of Hearts or whatever.
Well,
But
he
he's
did say
scary.
off with his head.
True, but he's not as scary.
He's guys, he's just a guy with mommy issues and brother issues as well, yeah.
He's just got family issues.
He's just got family.
Except he's the issue is kind of what seems to be the common theme.
In the consensus, yeah,
Yes.
he's the issue. Where's his dad? Dead?
I guess.
Mother?
I guess Mother's probably dead. That
Dead.
does sound kind of implied.
But it never mentions anything about his dad.
Maybe, like, his dad died when he was very, very young. And so that's why he kind of has mom issues, is because he grew, like, codependent on his mom. And so, like, when his mom passed away, he just couldn't deal with it. You know? I'm psychoanalyzing it. Like a
Everybody in the comments is gonna type and be like, actually, in the book, this is what happens.
Yeah, actually, in the book, Little John actually has... not Little John. Prince John, thank you, has
Thank you. I said nothing.
has daddy issues instead. And he's actually... he's actually an uber cool goth guy. And he's like so serious. He even wears like mascara and the black makeup and everything.
And
He's
I'm not gonna actually say what I was gonna
Robin
say.
Hood, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because we're all going to die anyways. And Robin Hood's like, dang, I just came here for like your gold. Like, and remember, guys, taxation is theft.
I would like to say, because I will not edit that out because I believe that we should keep our beliefs. But I would like to say that we do pay our taxes. Please don't send somebody to our door.
I don't care who the IRS sends. I am not paying my taxes.
You have to be joking. I at least pay taxes. I cannot attest to my husband here.
Yeah, why do you think we've not done our taxes yet?
Because we're lazy.
You know what? This would be a really fun... Now, I know this is a little too late now, because you're going to probably finish it before then. But this would be a really funny tax season upload.
It's still tax season.
Well, technically, yes, but proper tax season is March.
I would like to state that we do our taxes. We would rather not be in jail, so we do our taxes. Let me just say that so I can say it to the audience. Anyway, so don't send the IRS to us. Or else I will give them a Christmas cookie and send them on their merry way.
We don't have Christmas cookies.
This is veggie.
Oh. I'm from the IRS.
Anyway, do you have anything else to say to the good people?
Once we watched a lazy world go by. Now the days, they seem to fly. Life is brief, but when it's gone, love goes on and on.
Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking and commenting and subscribing.